On October 2nd, 2022, during the early hours of the morning, a doorbell camera captured 3 armed people wearing masks that looked like the ones from the movie The Purge. One of the intruders quickly noticed the camera and swiftly covered it with his gloved hand, obscuring their identities. They remained low to the ground, moving with stealth and avoiding detection from anyone within the house. Finally, the homeowner was jolted awake by notifications of motion detected outside. As he pulled up the camera feed on his phone, he was met with this unsettling sight.
Hello? 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 Hello?
The homeowner called out to them through the speaker system, but received no response. Fearful for his safety, he contacted the authorities. But by the time the police arrived, the would-be robbers had vanished into the night. The motives of the masked men remains a mystery. Some speculate that they were attempting to lure the homeowner into opening the door, while others believe they were trying to pick the lock while the camera was covered. For our next video, a woman returned home after taking her beloved dog for a walk. Unbeknownst to her, danger was just waiting to strike. As she headed inside her home, a man emerged from nowhere and made a beeline for her front door, attempting to enter with force. With a heart pounding and adrenaline surging, the woman locked the door just in time, thwarting the intruder's advances. But the terror was far from over. The man continued to prowl around the perimeter of the house, putting on gloves and carrying zip ties, a sinister indication of his true intentions. Desperately seeking entry, the man repeatedly attempted to turn the door handle, staring intently into the windows and searching for any weakness in the woman's fortress. It was only when a neighbour appeared that the man was forced to pause his sinister efforts, feigning innocence by picking up a nearby garden hose and pretending to work on the yard. But as soon as the neighbour disappeared back into their home, the man slinked around to the back door of the house, clearly unwilling to give up on his wicked mission.
Camera recording.
The intruder then tried to force his way into her sanctuary. With her instincts kicking in, the homeowner quickly reached for the phone to call the police. As she waited for the authorities to arrive, the sound of shattering glass echoed throughout the house. The intruder had moved to the windows, trying to break in through any means necessary. Despite his efforts, the homeowner remained safe and secure, her locked door and sturdy windows providing a bulwark against the assailant's onslaught. Frustrated and defeated, the man eventually fled the scene. The police arrived too late to apprehend the man, and he managed to evade justice once again. Determined to catch him, the homeowner shared the terrifying video on TikTok in the hopes of identifying the perpetrator. But despite the widespread attention the post received, the man remains at large to this day. 10-year-old Graydon from Riverton, Utah, was walking home alone from basketball practice at around 6 p.m. on a December night. As he was walking, he noticed a 4-door sedan driven by 2 men slowly lurking behind him. The men inside rolled down their windows and offered him candy in the back seat, trying to lure him inside. Graydon ignored them and walked even faster away from them towards his house. Graydon's family's house had a doorbell camera, which captured Graydon approaching the front door while looking over at the car in the background. As Graydon tried to open the front door, he realised it was locked. At the same time, the car's reverse lights turned on and it started heading towards him. Graydon started yelling and quickly grabbed rocks to defend himself, then ran to his next door neighbour's house. He let himself in as their door was unlocked and immediately locked it behind him. The car can be seen turning around and following him in the doorbell camera footage, and it lurks around the area waiting for Graydon to come back outside for several minutes. The police were called, but the two vanished before they arrived. It's very probable that they were planning on kidnapping Graydon that night. The clip shows a mother and her children responding to an evacuation notice by quickly packing their belongings. The footage was captured in Canyon County, California, during a wildfire that was raging in the area. In the footage, smoke and fire can be seen looming over the neighborhood in the hills. Eventually, a man runs across the street to warn the family that the fire is coming. After fleeing the neighborhood and seeking shelter in a nearby hotel, the family waited in dread for days as the wildfire raged on, consuming everything in its path. When the fires were extinguished, the family headed back to the house. Surprisingly, they found their house standing unscathed amidst the wreckage of their neighbors' homes. The next spine-chilling video showcases a mother, known as JoJo, and her son Daniel returning home after hours of being outside. As they stepped inside and secured the entrance, an uninvited guest approached their door, visible in the video's frame. The man captured by the camera slowly approached the house and tried to head inside. Luckily enough, the man was unable to do so, as JoJo and Daniel were able to lock the door right before that happened.
Shower really fast. I need to take a shower. Daniel? Dad?
JoJo and Daniel were having a little argument. However, their altercation was interrupted by the unmistakable sound of someone grabbing the front door handle. As JoJo peered outside, she saw an unknown man looming in the shadows. She demanded him to leave. However, the man retreated one step, but remained in front of the camera, his face emotionless and unreadable.
Who is that? Get out of here! Get out of here! The guy outside, look!
The origins of the stranger remained shrouded in mystery, leaving everyone with a deep sense of unease. The question on everyone's mind was, where did this ominous figure come from? Speculation ran wild, with some suggesting that he had been surreptitiously trailing JoJo and Daniel all the way back to their house. Others believed that the stranger had intentionally set up camp next to their home, lying in wait for their return with nefarious intentions. Although JoJo had promptly contacted the police, the stranger had vanished without a trace by the time they arrived on the scene. Looks like we'll never know who he was. In a hot summer of 2021, a disturbing set of Ring camera videos surfaced online. A woman and her mother decided to install 2 Ring cameras for added security. However, on the first few nights of using the cameras, her phone would incessantly get flooded with motion-detected notifications, alarming her and prompting her to review the footage. What she saw on the videos left her shaken to the core and compelled her to share her story with the world. The woman had stumbled upon something unsettling on her Ring camera footage. A stranger was seen casually strolling around the perimeter of the house. The man seemed familiar with the layout of the house. It was as if he had already memorized the exact location of everything. The man continued to peer into different windows, including hers. Fearing for her safety, she wasted no time in calling the authorities, who unfortunately arrived too late to apprehend the man. Determined to catch the stranger in the act, the woman set up a trap, a taut rope strung between two trees outside her window. She hoped that the man wouldn't see it and would trip over it, alerting her of his presence. The following week, in the dead of night, she was startled by the sound of someone tripping over the rope. With a sense of dread and apprehension, she quickly checked the live camera feed on her phone. To her horror, she saw the same man from before, standing directly outside her window, staring in. The shocking footage left the woman in a state of utter terror. She immediately went to her mother's room and showed her the video of the man outside their window. Together, they rushed back to the window, flung open the curtains, and began banging on the glass, hoping to scare the man away. They also contacted the police, but once again, when the authorities arrived, the man had vanished without a trace. The woman and her mother knew they couldn't continue living in such constant fear and decided to move to a new house, hoping to leave the stranger behind. But they never received any updates from the police and were left to wonder whether the man was ever caught. The memory of that terrifying experience would haunt them for years to come, a constant reminder of the fragility of their safety and the unpredictability of the world outside. The video shows a sudden and massive explosion that rocked a home in Arlington, Texas. The incident occurred at 2 a.m. on January 1st, 2022, just a few houses down from where the footage was captured. According to reports, the source of the explosion was determined to be a gas appliance that was not fully shut off. Thankfully, no one was inside the home when the explosion occurred and no injuries were reported. However, the aftermath of the explosion was devastating. The house itself suffered extensive structural damage, leaving it uninhabitable. But the damage did not stop there. Flying debris from the explosion damaged nearby buildings, and residents in the apartments across the street reported blown-out windows. Even parked vehicles were not spared from the destruction, with many of them being severely damaged. It's no surprise that authorities received multiple calls immediately after the explosion occurred. This eerie footage surfaced on TikTok in the eerie month of September 2022. As the video rolls, the timestamp shows the unholy hour of 3 a.m. The individual who uploaded it revealed that his doorbell camera picked up on a shadowy figure moving across the street. As the figure neared the porch, it became clear that the person was wearing a mask that concealed their true identity. The homeowner was abruptly woken up by his phone continuously buzzing, with motion detection notifications. As he looked through the footage, he saw the unnerving sight of a masked man peering into his windows and trying to forcefully open his door. In response, the homeowner quickly donned some clothes and rushed outside, clutching what appeared to be a golf club, ready to confront the intruder. As the homeowner rushed outside armed with a golf club, the mysterious masked figure vanished into the darkness, leaving nothing behind but an eerie feeling of unease. Despite calling the police and filing a report, the uploader received no updates on the identity of the intruder, leaving the incident shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. With the perpetrator still at large, it's uncertain what their intentions were and if they will ever be caught.